why they're trying to force take the tower against a Zed. I mean, between his Shadow and his Q, he can easily wave through.
Now, what do? Do you split push in this instance? Not against the Zed. There's not
I
too
mean,
much
they
available
should
for them to do otherwise.
they should be split pushing though. They should be putting Malkathos and Zark in a lane. Both of them have initiations that can be used from pretty closely to across the map. Less so for Zark, but he's about to hit 11. That'll increase the range a little bit.
Yeah, I think Malkathos needs to get his build on. I think his team needs to start throwing some items his way so he can actually be an effective split pusher. Like I said, with the static shiv or the Sunfire, but the fight is breaking out now. Mobgo's trying to tank the frontline damage for the rest of his team. They were a little bit out of position when it started. Has to flash over the wall. The taunt goes off on the SW, but he gets in toward the back line. That's going to be a dead Lulu. John the Great is going to be the next to fall, and ACME was just all over the place on that team fight. They got completely sideswiped by Shadow Walkers.
So I just want to pull up something from this fight and just mention this. Sedge got to use her ult offensively because Sivir used her ult to allow them to go in. They just got to collapse straight on him. They immediately split the team in two. Zark had to run away because he was getting ulted by Zed, and it was just quick cleanup after that.
I'm really liking the Sejuani combination with the Sivir here. It's paying off for them handsomely. Gold lead sitting in favor of Shadow Walkers as they take the turret lead, the dragon lead, and the kill lead as well. So game firmly in their hands at this stage. Not quite a runaway though, only 4,000 gold separating both teams at 20 minutes. Now that's not a negligible amount of gold. It's definitely enough gold to make a difference, but ACME Corporation still got to be careful when it comes to engaging.
Well, a big difference between the gold lead in this game and the gold lead in the last game is, in this game, since that happened in a team fight and wasn't happening all at once, it's spread across the team instead of all being on one person.
Right, last game we saw a lot of that gold lead for the first, I don't want to say the first 20 minutes of the game or so, was in the top lane. This game, you're right, things are spread out a lot more evenly. Take a look at the gold board. 7,068, 7,068. All the way across the board, outside the supports, very much even. Mycroft having to back out. That shield's going to keep him safe for a little bit, but not very long. He ends up falling, and ACME Corporation going to continue their assault here. That Zark using the ultimate to get in, gets the gold card off, but no follow-up from his team is available. SW in a bad spot here, going on toward John the Greatest. What happened with that?
It was unfortunate. He had to flash away from Zark. He had to use his shadow to get away from Mob Ghost and Malkathos. So by the time he got around, there was nowhere else for him to go.
So mid-turret going down. ACME Corporation had their eyes on that prize for quite a while, but thanks to SW falling, made short work of it. So first turret of the game for them, not bad. Won themselves in a team fight as well. And so far looking pretty good as they head into the mid stages of the game now.
I am thus far enjoying this attack speed on hit Twisted Fate.
It's an interesting choice. But then again, Twisted Fate was an interesting choice to begin with. So.
Is that going to be a Rylai's? Can't tell.
Why not go Ohm Record?
May as well, right?
Might as well.
If you're already going all over the place, just get the Ohm Wrecker.
A lot of damage coming out from SW on John. John returning a fair bit of it himself. So this siege here going to start up for SW. Or not. Deciding to rotate out toward the jungle. They don't have any vision in the jungle on ACME Corporation at the moment. So ACME very well hidden behind that wall. Shadow Walker's going to have to be careful. They decide to just exit through the south end, so wise choices. Wise choice for them.
That wave clear on Totodile.
And Mega Totodile catching Malkathos out. He didn't have a ward in that push. So the Stand United not going to help him out. Ends up falling on that gank before the teleport could come off. So that is huge for Shadow Walkers. That is I believe, a 2-minute cooldown on Stand United at this point. Going to be quite hard to remain competitive.
Oh, this tower doesn't even stand a chance. Oh, they're opting to run away from the solo TF.
Zark, I guess, still commanding enough respect that he can defend a turret 1v2. A lot of damage coming from Jetstone on the Mob. Mob trying to mitigate the effects of this mini siege happening here. Pretty much only Jetstone carrying it out. Gets slowed by the Jinx. A little bit of a follow-up inkling there, but... Ooh, failed flash onto SW. Not really going to matter. No, it did matter.
Uh-oh.
He actually made it out. And the solo kill in the bottom lane going to Mega Totodile. What is happening here?
You know, I don't even know anymore. I don't know. I'm kind of curious because Strathagos got the early Seeker's Arm Guard, but then instead went to finish a Morello first instead of building something with the Arm Guard. I guess he couldn't save up the money to get the Needlesley Large Rod because there wasn't a lot going on. But at the same time, like, he kind of needs the Zonias so that he can use his ult on other people.
You know, the passive armor that you're going to be gaining off of that certainly makes it worth the slot inefficiency. But you're right. At the same time, you don't want to be piecemealing it, especially when you're going up against a Zed. I have to think, you know, you take the drop in power as you wait for that spike, and you just work with it. But ACME may have felt like there were some important objectives that needed to be focused here and now, and decided to go into a different path with that. But free Dragon for Shadow Walkers. No contest coming out from ACME as they are starting to see this game slip away from their fingers.
Malkathos responds with the top tower kill, though, so not totally free, but might lose mid tower for it. Alternatively, Zark.
So on the hunt gets turned on. Jetstone goes in and picks up an easy kill, and things just keep falling to pieces for ACME Corp.
Totodile still got ult.
And the Lay Waste comes in. Or the Lay Waste, the Karthus Ultimate comes in. Not too much done with that.
He sang the Requiem, and they did not die.
The Requiem. Team fight breaking out over this turret. Mini team fight. Just enough to take the turret, but the Dredgeline does hit Jetstone. He has to flash and heal Chibodi left on the front line to contend with the aftermath of that. Jetstone chucking boomerangs from the back as well. Mega Totodile has to be careful. Only in possession of about 100 of his health going into this.
SW with a quick Bork kill. Uh-oh.
Oh, unfortunate. But the Destiny going to allow Zark to pick that one up here. The flash afterward from SW going to grab the kill for his team as well. So a little bit of a tit for tat getting traded back and forth here.
I almost think that was just a desperation play by Zark. Like, he felt that they needed to get something for all of that being lost, so I guess try and get the very low health Totodile, but SW hadn't used his flash yet, so there was no way that he was going to be able to safely get out.
You know, when you're behind, a one-for-one trade is worth a lot more than one-for-one. So definitely got to be comfortable with a one-for-one trade on a losing team. But when you're ahead, definitely not something you want to be giving away.
Very true. Just kind of getting back into a lull. There's no outer turrets to be taken, and probably no Baron anytime soon, but we'll see. And no Dragon. And one thing to say, like from the middle of that fight, Chibode, I have seen twice use really, really on-point sedge ults, like catching multiple people and getting at least 1 or 2 kills out of it.
He's been landing them with a lot of success, and more than success, a lot of impact on team fights. Mycroft having to dash out of those chompers there, a good dash. Otherwise, would have had a bit more difficulty on the back there. But yeah, he's been on point with those ultimates, landing them, having quite a bit of impact in quite a few team fights.
Well, I think one advantage that they have because of their team comp is that, like, Sedge has no real incentive to try and do a snipe initiation with her ult. So instead, Chibo can just use it when he's already in melee range. So there's very low chance of him actually missing.
And like we saw a few fights ago, Jetstone turning on the speed boost with On the Hunt, and that just puts Chibode in a great position for that Glacial Prison. A little bit of damage getting thrown over the wall at ACME Corp. Not too much going on right now. I think Shadow Walkers are trying to still play conservatively. They know that their 4,000 gold lead, well, they don't know it's 4,000. They know their lead right now. They haven't done a whole lot to substantially improve it. And, you know, that's to the credit of ACME. They've fended off the snowball. So if they can continue, then it may make it a little bit harder for Shadow Walkers to secure this victory. Tower dive coming through, and John the Greatest chucking out rockets, but Tower just doesn't have enough health to continue being a factor in that fight, and it ends up falling.
It was a fantastic unbreakable by Mycroft. Caught the Jinx, caught the gold card.
Malkathos is getting jumped on. Karthus ult, gonna take that one out. SW gets ignited here. That ignite gonna be enough, but John the Greatest donates a rocket over the shoulder. Zark coming in with the gold card, locks down Chibode. Chibode trying to run away from turret. You ain't going nowhere, buddy.
Not against a Frozen Mallet TF.
Definitely not. This Baron is getting traded, though, but oh no, Shadow Walker's not able to. You know, I think they had the damage. They just didn't have a meat shield to take everything that Baron was dishing out. It's unfortunate. Otherwise, could have been a good sneak Baron for them.
You know, I would almost say that that's punishment for bringing top Karthus. Because if you'd had a tank top, you might have been able to get it.
It's a fair assessment. Of course, support tank and jungle tank. You could argue, that's
right,
plenty of tanks. But you're right. That's what it came down to there. Megatotodile is not a tanky top laner. He's not a Maokai. He's not a Malphite. He's not even a Riven. So that Baron shredding right through him.
This will be Dragon 4. They need to contest this if they want to stop them from getting 5 dragons.
ACME Corporation have to make a move here, and they don't. That next dragon is going to be huge for Shadow Walkers. On the Hunt gets turned on. Shadow Walkers going in onto targets here. John the Greatest flashes out, but the Death Mark going to be enough to take him out. Malkathos flashing away as well. Gets the shield from Help Picks. Strategos throwing that Glitter Lance out to back Jetstone and crew off the turret as they make their retreat with a kill in their pocket.
And like the only resources that got used was the Sivir ult and the Zed ult, which both have relatively short cooldowns.
Take a look at that path to victory through the jungle. They had some really good vision. Told them nobody was going to stop their assault, and I think a lot of that just came down to first John being out of position. He was pushed up a little bit too far, but at the same time, it's hard to predict a whole team coming at you full force with On the Hunt and that movement speed. Even those wards they had down just weren't enough. As soon as John saw him, he backed out and even flashed Still were able to catch him. So SW getting caught split pushing here. Not a good situation.
Unfortunate is they even just got Baron, so he just lost one of their Baron buffs.
Unfortunately, but it looks like SW going to continue this assault as far as it'll get them. We've got 2 backs coming out from ACME Corp. They're going to rejoin their team mid, and it looks like Shadow Walkers trying to reposition, perhaps get this top lane turret.
Oh, it'll be quick.
Mycroft tanking things now, so that should allow Shadow Walkers, end up picking up another objective. 6-3 in turrets so far. Counting the minutes until Dragon number 5 is a thing on the map. ACME Corporation have just kind of let the Dragons fall through. I feel like they were in a position where they could have contested the last one. They just didn't make it a priority.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're falling behind in terms of their dragon control. They haven't really had a lot of dragon control, but I guess it's kind of fear of the last time they tried to fight dragon, they died. But they can't just let them have the dragons, because when they get to 5 dragons, a lot of pros will tell you that's GG, because the dragon buff getting doubled is insane. In addition to the burn.
The burn really comes through big when you're adding true damage to any situation, especially if the teams are as close as they are now, which, despite the goal difference, I really feel like both teams are really close in terms of teamfight capability and power, and I think Shadow Walkers are respecting that as well. They're not getting cocky with their lead. They're making calculated decisions. They're keeping up on their warding. Look at the aggressive amount of wards they have. They are slowly taking ACME Corporation apart a piece at a time. They're really taking their time, making this a very slow death for ACME. But ACME's not out of it yet. They still have the amount of power and crowd control options available in their kit to do something big here, but no, not when Zark getting caught by SW. The wild growth onto him, gonna keep him safe, but whoa, Karthus throwing out the Requiem. Braum ultimate not going to tag the Lulu. Strategos makes his way out, but Shadow Walkers still in possession of that Baron buff, breaking down that Nexus turret like it was made, that inhibitor turret like it was made of paper. Inhibitor falls off the back of it as well, and what can ACME do at this stage?
Pray.
Unfortunately, it looks like they're just a few short minutes away from relegation at this stage. Not looking good at all. 2 inhibitors down. Shadow Walkers end up getting up 0 in return for that exchange, and they're still in possession of all of their inner turrets. Really good setup for Shadow Walkers. I'm surprised they didn't stick around and try to get more out of the engagement. Again, it goes back to their conservative playstyle. I think they took a look at the last game and saw we can shore up a few weaknesses here. We had a little bit too much ham in our diet. Let's dial it back a bit. And, well, you know what? We've been on it with the puns all day, so I might as well. They replaced that ham with a little bit of cheese.
It's alright. Maybe we'll see a little bit of ham, egg, and cheese by the end of this.
Oh! Alright, Freak Channel over. I never did like Freak's puns. Okay, Zark.
Zark thinking he's got Jet caught out.
Yeah, not happening.
Not quite.
He put up more of a fight there than I thought he would. The Death Mark goes down on the Malkathos. SW trying to go in and finish off another member. The Glacial Prison hits 3. That is enough damage to take 1 out of the fight. Look at the Requiem coming through. Another fall on ACME Corporation, and that has to be the last nail in the coffin. All Shadow Walkers have to do is lower the cask into the ground.
Speaking of casts,
on to Strategos here.
Singer of the Dead.
So Shadow Walkers easily cleaning up here. That Guardian Angel gonna pop, and the surrender vote comes out. Shadow Walkers will be moving on, and ACME Corporation going to get relegated. Well, that concludes our quarterfinal stage 1 for tonight. I want to say thank you to all the teams that came out, especially with the connection difficulties that we had with the servers there for a bit. We pulled through it, made it work, got our 2 series done. So we'll be back next week, Saturday, to get to quarterfinals stage 2 of our tournament.